All right, what is going on, Tempo Trades? We are going to do an entire breakdown on how I would start from scratch and make 5 figures. So if you don't know anything about me, just a little breakdown. I've been live trading in my community for over a year, and I've made 5 figures every single month for the past year with prop firms. Here is one of the payouts I made this month with Bulenox. And, it wasn't like this at the start. It was a gradual climb. I was in the red phase. Then I was trying to get to that break even phase. Then I was break even for a little while. Then I started seeing profitability. You started seeing small months, a couple thousand here, a couple thousand there. And then obviously you tweak your system and you optimize your system to now where you can make 5 figures consistently. So you can do that with just as little as $150. Some of these offers on these firms are absolutely crazy and what their leverage is giving you. So there's a big sham out there like, oh my God, I need so much capital. I need so much commitment to start. That's not true whatsoever. So prop firms give you the power to do so, man. And when I started, I traded options and I lost a lot of money of my own capital because I didn't even know what prop firm futures were. So highly, highly recommend it. This video will not be edited. We're just going to do this all in one take. Just a chill little chat between me and you, I guess you could say. So let's get into it. You have two real examples that I want to get into today. Example number one is going to be my funded futures. Example number two is going to be Bulenox. Now, assuming you're completely brand new, we'll go from the basis, okay? Number one, you would need to even know what a strategy is. I tried 10 different strategies. I tried EMAs, VWAP, pattern trading, order flow, the strat. I tried so many different strategies until I landed on this ICT concept. And as of right now, I am trading liquidity sweeps with the inverted fair value gap. So just a quick basis, if you are so new that you don't even have a strategy, you can click the link in the description, access my completely free course. There's no catch. I'm not asking you for any money. This is 10 videos going over my strategy. So that is just a basis out of the way. I'm going to assume that you're trading our strategy. And if you are not familiar with it, click that link. Okay. So now you know the strategy, you've watched the videos, you're ready to start building your prop firm journey. Okay. The first thing, you got to decide what prop firm you want to trade. So the two we're going to look at today are my funded futures and Bulenox. I think personally, Bulenox is the best firm to start out as a beginner. Okay, why? Let me explain. It has the cheapest upfront fee out of any firm, right? Right now, 90% off. You use my code Tempo. You can get a 50K eval challenge for only 16 US dollars. That's it. And that is the cheapest in the community, right? Some firms are 30, some firms are 100, some firms are 50, but none of them comes close to the $16. So as a beginner, you're expected to make a lot of mistakes. You're not going to be perfect. This is my number one recommendation. Yes, paper trading is okay when you're in the first month or two. It's okay to just kind of familiarize yourself with the model and the software, but you don't want to be on paper forever because you need to develop your psychological skills in the markets and get that live market experience. Paper trading will never prepare you for that. So you need to have some skin in the game, okay? And this is the perfect midpoint. You don't have a shit ton of skin in the game. It's not like you have hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars at risk, but you still have skin in the game to where it matters whether you pass or fail. So this is the perfect starting point. $16 for a 50K eval. It's going to be $2,500 of drawdown. And it's going to be a $3,000 profit goal. 1 day pass. Okay. So here's what you're looking at. Okay. Now, you can pass these in 1 day. I don't recommend that for a beginner. As an experienced trader, I do. I'll get into that a little later. But as a beginner, you're just going to treat it like a funded account. You're going to take it slow, build confidence with the system, build confidence with the strategy, and treat it like a funded account. Okay. Now, we have the sizing chart here. This is in my Discord community as well. But I recommend with an account like this, with $3,000 profit goal and with $2,500 of drawdown, I recommend this sizing chart. You're going to risk $200 on the low end, $400 on the high end, $300 on the middle point. Really what I like to do is I like to grade setups based on certain confluences. I'll give it a grade rating like A, B, C, F, whatever. So for the higher end setups, I like to risk 300 to 400. For the lower end setups, I'll risk 2 to 300. And you can see on the top here, it will tell you how many contracts to go based on your stop loss size. Okay. So now, assuming you buy this account, okay, let's assume you buy this account, you learn the strategy. If everything goes well, this should be able to pass in 2 to 3 weeks if everything goes well. If it goes extremely well, you could pass it in 1 week. And if it goes horrendous, it's going to take more than a month. But on average, what I've seen from my students is 2 to 3 weeks. Because, you know, 3,000, it's not insanely hard to hit. I mean, you can chip away at that and you can do 1,000 week 1, 1,000 week 2, 1,000 week 3, something like that on average. And by the end of week 2 or week 3, you're extremely close to hitting it. The second thing is we just want to play our probabilities. Okay. One of my members back tested this strategy for the entire year. So from January 1st to now, so that's 9 months. And they have found that there is an average of a 76% win rate. And if you do a 1-to-1 risk to reward trimming strategy, it is an 80% win rate. So again, if you just simply follow the model by watching the free course, follow the strategy, and you just take it slow at first, you will see results. This is my personal checklist through my forward testing and through this guy's back testing, the member in the Discord. This has an 80% win rate. There is no disputable. There's nothing you can refute about this. There's not saying it's hindsight. There's not saying it's BS. There is clear cut raw data, X's and O's right here. You can access this file. It's public and look through all of this backtesting data. This has an 80% win rate if you make sure all your trades follow these checklists. Now, every trade doesn't have to have every single checklist marked off. Like, as long as I have 3 to 4 confluences, I'll take a trade. But your super high win rate, super high conviction setups are going to have 5 or 6 of these checked off. So just keep that in mind. So that's what I would do as a beginner. You're just taking it very slow. You're buying a couple evals, trade them, try to pass them. Now you're on the funded stage. Let's just say fast forward a couple weeks to a couple months. Okay. Now, once you're on the funded stage, you just do it the same way, right? You took it slow. You brought an account from 0 to 3,000. Now all you have to do is do it on the funded. You're doing the same exact thing, right? You're doing the same thing. And if you're able to pass, you can get a payout. Now we'll talk about the payout rules here. With Bulenox, it is harder to get a payout than my funded futures. So I'll go over my funded futures in a little bit. But with Bulenox, you need $3,600 minimum or $4,100. Okay. So the thing with Bulenox is you have to leave the buffer in. So the buffer is $2,600. So if you want to get a payout, you have to hit $3,600 in 10 days and you can take out 1,000, right? Now, what this means is the first payout is going to be more difficult than all the other payouts, right? Because for the first payout, you have to go from 0 to 3,600 and then you take out 1,000. Now you're at 2,600. But for the second round of payouts, you only have to go from 2,600 to 3,600. You understand how different that is? So from the first payout, you have to make $3,600 in 10 days. But for every single payout after that, you only have to make $1,000 in 10 days, which is extremely easy. So that's kind of the drawback that you have to face because it's so cheap. Obviously, because it's so cheap and there's so many benefits about that as a beginner, there has to be a catch and there has to be a drawback versus the competitors. So that is the thing. But again, for me, it took 12 to 15 months for me to see a payout. You're not expecting to get a payout in your first month or two. So again, you're expected to make mistakes. You're expected to spend some money to learn some lessons. I think Bulenox is the best way to do that. You're not gonna, even if you blow 5 accounts, right? You're gonna be down what, 50, 60 bucks? That's nothing in the grand scheme of things. Like we just went back to, I just made a $16,500 payout. So even if you lose a couple $100 in your beginning phases, you can make that all back later down the road when you learn the skill. So that's Bulenox. The last thing I will say before we go to my funded futures is, let's just say you take it slow, you get a couple accounts or maybe even 1 account. Once you get a payout with that 1 account, you can use that money to fund your other accounts, right? To scale. Because the beauty about prop firms is leverage, right? Copy trading, leverage, that is the key. You don't want to just trade one account. You want to eventually get up to 10, 20, 30 accounts, because that's the advantage you have over a personal, you know, prop firm, or not prop firm, but a personal account, the traditional way how people trade. You know, you could take a $200 trade and it's not that exciting, but then you copy trade that 20 times and now you're up $4,000 across all your accounts. That is the key. That's where the money is made. So what I would do is you take one account or maybe a couple accounts, then you try to get a payout with it. Like I said, following the checklist, following the model, you're watching the free course, even watching the videos on the channel. Then you try to aim for that $1,000 payout, or you try to aim for that $1,500 payout. And then you use that money to buy more accounts. With Bulenox, you are able to get up to 11 accounts. Up to 11 accounts funded with Bulenox. And they're one of them the most. Top Step only allows you 5. My Funded Futures, 5. Tradeify, I believe 5 or 7. The only one that offers 11, more than 11 that I know of is Apex. Apex offers 20. So Bulenox is really, really good for that. You know, it's really cheap at the beginning, easy to get into, and you're able to scale pretty aggressively. So as a beginner, that's my #1 firm. Now, once you're getting past the beginner phase and maybe you're even intermediate, I highly recommend My Funded Futures. This is going to have a more expensive upfront cost, but it is an overall better cost as a whole, okay? Right now, they're running a promo, 50% off first-time users for your first account. So you can only pay $39 for a 50K account, 0 activation fee, okay? So let's just compare the two right here, right? So for Bulenox 50K, you're going to pay 16 up front, and then if you pass the eval challenge, it is $150 to activate it into a funded account. With the My Funded Futures 50K challenge, right now it is $39 up front, $0 activation fee. So if you can pass your first couple of accounts, it's a no-brainer. I mean, it is significantly cheaper than Bulenox. But at the same time, this is going to also be easier to get a payout with. With My Funded Futures, their policy is simple. You need 5 trading days of $100 or more. That's it. And on day number 6, you can request a payout. So where Bulenox is 10 days, and you have to hit 3,600, My Funded Futures is literally just 5 days of 100, and you can request $500. So that's really, really nice. My Funded Futures is the easiest firm to get a payout on, no matter what. I've tried so many guys, and I'm telling you, that's the easiest. Even if you're done using the 39% off code, it's going to go to $77. It's still pretty good value, you know, because there's no activation fee. So that's what I would do with My Funded Futures. Now with My Funded Futures, you can only go up to 11 accounts, or 5 accounts. So there's not as much scalability there. So the approach I take with My Funded Futures is, you know, you buy 1 account or 2, whatever you're feeling, buy 1 account for $39 with code TEMPO, right? You do the same exact thing. Now, this account is going to give you a little bit less drawdown. It's going to give you $2,000 of drawdown, $3,000 of profit goal. The other downside with this one, it's 2-day pass. With Bulenox, it's 1-day pass. It's much easier to pass and gain that scalability that I was talking about. With My Funded Futures, it's 2-day pass. So the quickest you could pass it is 1,500 day 1, 1,500 day 2. Now, as a beginner, you really shouldn't try to pass this quickly. You should try to take it slow and, again, build confidence. So that really doesn't matter to you beginners, but that's just letting you know. And then, again, you just go for $100 a day, $200 a day, right? It's very, very easy. If you follow this strategy, you have such an edge in the market. $200 a day is nothing. Depending on your sizing, that's 10 or 20 points on NQ. That is very, very, very manageable, okay? So let's just say for My Funded Futures, you pass the challenge, you go for $200 a day for 5 days, right? You're at $1,000, okay? You request it. I believe they have, this is the other drawdown with My Funded Futures. Like every prop firm has their advantages and disadvantages, right? So you're at $1,000 after 5 days. My funded futures is going to take an 80% profit split. Bulenox takes 0 as of right now. They take 0. So, you know, you're going to get $800 out of that 1,000. Now you use that at that 800, you buy 4 more accounts, right? Now you have 5 funded accounts. Okay? If you can just do the same exact thing, $200 for 5 days with 5 accounts, that's $1,000 times 5, which is 5,000. After the profit split, $4,000 profit, right? And that's where the scaling comes in. Now, again, you're not going to win every single day. I'm just talking best case scenario here. Some days you'll be red, some days you'll be break even, but I'm just saying anyone can get on a hot streak. Anyone, whether me, you, anyone can just get on a 5-day hot streak, and I'm just telling you what's possible, right? So once you hit something like that, where now you're getting a payout with leverage, you're actually copy trading, $4,000 payout. I mean, dude, that's impressive. And again, it's not just me hitting these payouts. I want to show you, like, members in my community. This is my man Jordan right here. He's been absolutely killing it. He just hit a $9,200 payout with another prop firm. It is completely doable. Like, it's no scam here. There's people doing it. Just go to my testimonials channel. Let's have a look here. There are plenty of people who took this exact path that I'm talking about who have gotten payouts. And again, you could just scroll through all of this right here. It's what I'm preaching does actually work. So that's what I would do in my funded futures. And again, that's how I scaled personally. Okay. I started with 1 to 3 funded accounts, right? I got a payout on those accounts, used the payout money to scale to 5 to 10 accounts, and I just kept rinsing and repeating to where I'm at now. I'm trading over 20 accounts right now. I'm making mid 5 figures every single month trading prop firms. And hopefully the prop firms stay in business. You know, we've seen prop firms in the past have liquidity issues and have to close business, but as long as the prop firms are still available and they're still offering this kind of leverage and this amazing deals, I think it's without a doubt a no-brainer. You should be trading these. Maybe down the line, when the offers are not as enticing, I'll go entertain a personal account, but there's no reason to right now. So that is what I have to say with the video. That's how you can go from 0 to 5 figures a month trading prop firms. Again, the best deals right now, Bulenox, #1 as a beginner, and my funded futures, #2, 50% off first-time users. I'll leave the links to the description to both of these in the description below. First link. And yeah, if you have any questions, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Take it easy. Peace.